So once again, we are back. 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 And as the title say, you're looking at it. About to play this on my radio in my truck, and we're about to get to it. Let me blow up the screen. And we're about to get into a Alonzo exclusive, and then I'm gonna come in the middle.
It's your insurance junkie, your fiduciary fellow, the all-star advisor Alonzo Ball, and I return today with another issue solution. Today, we'll begin to discuss filling all of your financial needs. To contribute to channel growth, the links are in the description. To schedule an appointment of your own or to purchase life insurance directly up to $1 million with no medical exam and an instant decision, my information is in the description. Lastly, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. And now, here's our next feature. Salute, 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 salute. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fellow, the all-star advisor, Alonzo Ball, and I return today to whap and tap on your head with another ADH wealth solution. Today's article is here's how to get $1 million in life insurance without spending a lot of money. Before we go in, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth, to schedule a one-on-one appointment with a licensed financial professional, or to purchase life insurance directly up to $1 million with instant decision and no medical exam, the links are in the description. So as we proceed to give you what you need, well, there's a couple of ways before we go in. One is to buy life insurance at a very, very young age because it's cheaper. And then two, obviously, they're going to tell you to buy a term insurance policy because term insurance is hella cheap. But it only lasts for a specific period of time. Maybe you thought about getting life insurance, but it seems like an intimidating, time-consuming, and expensive process. Just tune out all the noise and focus on one fact you should know. It probably won't take as long or cost as much as you think. Check out this fact. Nearly half of millennials overestimate the cost of life insurance by about 5 times the average amount, according to a 2018 LIMRA study. That's Life Insurance Marketing and Research Association. The fact is, term life insurance policies can start at about $16 a month with no medical exam or blood tests. If you get one through a company like Mr. W or Ethos or a boatload of others, but they're not going to give you what a licensed agent is going to give you. Just like you can go and cut your own hair, but they're not going to get you. You're not going to get the haircut you would get if you went to a barber. So let's see. Secure your family's future the simple way. You can use websites like Bestow to see how much different amounts of coverage will cost you. Plus, your online application only requires a few steps. Take a few minutes to answer questions about your health and life, such as your income. You'll get an instant quote for coverage and there's no risk. You won't even have to get a full physical. You'll need to enter your driver's license and social security number, which is true for any life insurance application. You know, I had a guy who really told me he felt some type of way about giving me his driver's license number because he had something happen to his license. Yeah, this was after giving me his social security number. I was like, bro, if you're going to be worried about your license, you shouldn't have given me your social security number, which is way easier to mess someone up. The company needs this information to verify your identity and prevent fraud. It uses a secure website and will not sell your private information. You can cancel anytime. You even get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Hold on. That 30-day money-back guarantee is with all life insurance companies. It's called your 30-day free look period. So let's look at this story here. At 5 years old, Eric Davis's life was changed forever when his father unexpectedly died. He had a life insurance policy, but his coverage wasn't enough to help keep Davis's mom keep their family afloat. Now 37, Davis's life has changed significantly. He lives in Virginia with his wife and two boys and works as an assistant professor at the University of Virginia. After completing 13 years of college, he earned a PhD and racked up thousands of dollars in student loan debt. On top of paying that debt, Davis and his wife have two college educations to save for. If money's tight now, imagine what it would be like if your income is gone and when you're not around. With so many futures hanging in the balance, Davis realized that he wasn't doing enough to keep his family protected. If money's tight now, he says, imagine what it would be like if your income is gone when you're not around. Thankfully, the process was so simple. Davis and his wife got a policy through a company like Bestow that covered them both at 10 times their current income. So if it's $1 million policy, that means they both made $100,000 a year. And the monthly payment, less than their phone bill. I thought it was going to be hundreds of dollars a month, and that just wasn't the case. It also helps to be healthy and younger, says Davis. Now, he and his wife can sit back and relax, knowing they still will help provide financial support for their family if something ever happens. It makes me feel that I'm doing the right thing in order to give my kids the best chance if something should happen, he says. The statements and testimonials presented here were provided voluntarily and not exchanged for any payment and are applicable to the individuals.
So basically, you had it. Situation happened like this: the guy's dad died at 5, and I believe he said he was 36, and have two kids, married, both of them college degrees. So their student loan debt. Plus, they have to save for their kids to go to college. You know, because he didn't want the misfortune as this when his dad died, it falls on his kids the same way. You know, so he went out, got a policy, him and his wife, with enough money to where if anything happened to either one of them, they both would live comfortably. The kids would stay in the community in which they grew up in, unless they want to move. And also, to the degree the kids are able to go to college without a strain on the family or on the kids themselves. So that's why I always big up life insurance, because it's a life changer. And I always tell people, to the degree it's almost as if it's a shock to the system, because you're either creating wealth or creating debt for the family, you know. And learning about life insurance, just learning in general about money management and budgeting at a young age will help you along the way. Let's say, you might have not got it right, or been, to the extreme to which you're just now learning about finance. Start teaching it to your kids, because finance is not really pushed as much in school now. To the degree most people are worker bees, and when it comes down to it, overdraft fees is the main reason for a lot of young kids having banks closed, not being able to budget their money. You know, that's the main reason for overdrafts. You're not able to budget your money. If you have $500, you go and swipe that card 12 times. You know, each payment is $50 a piece. You do the math. That's over $600, but you only have 500 in the account. That's two overdraft charges right there alone. And if they're $35 a pop, I know one site I was listening to, they were talking about raising the overdraft fee, I think, for Wells Fargo to $50. So you're looking at spending two $50 payments, which is $100, then two overdraft fees, which is $100. That's $200 you got to come out of the pocket, which you don't even already have. You got to wait till next payday. You got to borrow it. And let's say you make that $500 check. You're already a negative 200 in the hole So your $500 checks turned into $300. And let's say you have to pay rent that week or you have to pay a bill, you know, there's a situation right there. So when it comes down to it, knowing the value of money, knowing how to proceed, you know, pay your bills, know how to budget, that's the key. So with this video, I'm mostly talking about life insurance, but just giving the notion of budgeting. A lot of kids are not taught to budget. I had a story yesterday I was telling about one of my sons. They end up getting $10 from doing some work. And one of them, he took the 10, he kept his, and he got something to eat with it, which he paid for himself. And the other one, he took his whole 10 and gave it to a lady that was asking for money. That was a good, noble thing to do. But at the same time, when it came down to it, you know, who was gonna buy his food? If he gave that the whole $10 to the lady, who was gonna buy his food? Now, if he gave her maybe $2, then he had $8 left over. But because you know, to the mindset of a kid who don't really think about budgeting or have that mindset, he just think, oh well, I'm gonna get it from daddy, and he was highly mistaken. No, I'm not paying for your food. You had $10, you gave it away. That's your decision, so you have to live with that decision. You can ask somebody else to buy you food, but I won't be buying you. And it gave him a value point to where next time I might give a little more to where I can keep some for myself. You know, hence the start of budget. You know, you have some kids that actually take all the change, as far as pennies, taking quarters, any leftover change from family members. They try to keep it and put it in their little piggy bank. And over time, the piggy bank adds up. And in return, that's when you sit there and the kids are able to, do certain things with that piggy bank to obtain, you know, dollar amounts. If you're safe, I knew I once talked to a guy. He saved for his kids to go to Disney World for all his change. So what he did was he would always break a dollar, even if it was for a penny. He would break a dollar just to get the change, and he just kept saving on the change until he had enough to actually, cash it in and take his kids to Disney World. Now, there's two ways you can cash that change in. You can roll it up yourself, take it to the bank, or you can take it to one of those coin machines. But no, when you take it to the coin machine, majority of the money is going to you, but a portion of it is being donated. And most of the time, people don't know that. You know, those machines have to make money somehow, and they charge a fee, and some of them automatically place you in the realm of donating, even though you probably don't want to. But that's the cost of doing business with certain machines. And to the degree, you know, teaching your kids savings, teaching your kids how to budget is key. You know, if my kids when they were young, they wanted this dinosaur that was $100. I told them to a degree, I'm not paying $100 for no big dinosaur. And they made a compromise. They said, well, we'll take this money, save this, we'll take this money and do this, and then we'll be able to have $100 to buy the dinosaur. You know, because at times I would give them at least $50 or sometime maybe $20, depending on the buy toys or, for chores or spending and stuff like that. So they're able to budget their money and buy whatever they want. And now that I have this busy kids card, just actually, like I say, testing it out. I'm going to start doing the allowances on there because, in my opinion, it's better than Greenlight. I had that before. It's a $5 service fee a month. With this one, you could pay $40 a year service charge, or do I think it's like a minimum of three each month. One moment. Yeah, sorry about that. But when it comes down to it, that's what I was basically saying. In the end, you have to pretty much understand where do you stand when far as teaching your kids managing money and stuff like that, because it all depends on you know you and your learning about spending money to help your kids with it. And the focus is mainly you learn as much as you can so you can help your kids, obtain the same value. So, I mean, the first rule of thumb is when you start in this process, you want to make sure, um, I would say charts are always better to help kids and graphs to get them a visual of what's going on, and actually physically showing them money or getting, the kid friendly paper money so they can have an understanding, what they see and what they have. When my kids were younger, I would use like the phone blocks to teach them how to count, and everything from 1 to 10 when they were just getting into learning pretty much around 2 or 3, counting numbers and stuff and everything and adding and subtracting. So I was using these little phone blocks I got at the Dollar Tree to teach them that. And as time went on, yeah. So basically, when I started doing that with them, they started developing pretty much the skills and learning how to, count numbers. And with a lot of kids, it's more visual than anything. So that's my biggest push to get kids into finance by teaching them the basics. And as far as with adults, for adults who don't know how to budget properly, you know, I always say this a lot. You literally have a laptop in your pocket. You know, you're walking around with an encyclopedia in your pocket. If you don't know anything about budgeting, let's say you want to read it, go into Google, search it, and there's books, there's lectures, there's articles on finance teaching you how to budget. There's templates to show you how to implement your money into the template and show you how to budget your money. Same as if you don't want to read, you can look at a video. YouTube, there's other video sources, but mainly YouTube. There's all tons of videos on budgeting, you know. So in the end, just like the guy, didn't think he could afford his life insurance, but more or less wanted to provide for his kids and his family. That was his best outcome, to actually pursue the necessarily arrangements that he needed for his family was to get life insurance, and by any means, thought about the situation he was in as a child and didn't want the same for his kids, and his wife. So, like I said, I've always bigged up life insurance. I've always bigged up to the extreme, you know, you having a budget and teaching your kids something. And my main thing is, like I say, shout out to Alonzo. I always big up Alonzo with this because in the end, Alonzo is focusing on life insurance, which is his job, and more or less, if you hear his story, he's coming from it being his passion. And so forth. And like I always say, till next time we here and we gone.